I've been training since, hard for me to say how long, but I believe I start training like, I think the first time that I started getting regular classes in the school, I was about, I'll say 6, 7 years old. But before that, you know what I mean, because my father trained since I was born. When I was born, he got his black belt pretty much. Yeah. So I've been always going to the academy with him, to watch him train and playing with him at home. But nothing too serious, you know what I mean, just playing around. But I believe like regular classes, going to the school every week, I'll say about 7, 8. To keep my level up, I think, because compete is something to make me feel really good. And that's what I do pretty much. That's what I choose to be. So the training, you know what I mean, is knowing that I can every time get better and better. So I always try to improve myself in any aspect, you know what I mean, as possible. So I know I'm never going to reach my limit, because I don't think that I'll have a limit. No one does, you know. But I have in my mind that I'm trying to be the best fighter I can. That's what keeps me motivated to compete, because I know everybody is also training as hard, or you know what I mean, or more than me. More, I think it will be hard. But they train as hard as me, so if I don't train as much, you know what I mean, I'm not going to be able to keep up with them. I think that's something that will keep me motivated a lot. Yeah, I feel, because you know what I mean, I'm on top now. Not the top, you know what I mean, but I reach a level that everybody, to reach there, you know what I mean, to get in this level, they have to get me, I will say that. And I know they throwing water on the floor, you know, I have to be careful to don't slip. Because if I flip over, you know what I mean, they'll catch me.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know, I mean, that's normal for me, you know, I mean, that's what I said before, is what keeps me training even more, because I know they trying to get me now. So it's not going to be easy for them. I'm not going to make it easier. Because I live in London, and I have to run a school there. I have to combine with teaching now. And like this time, I stay in London all the time. So I have to train and teach at the same time. I have a few persons to help me out with the teaching, but it's pretty much, I try to get as more conditioning as possible, because there's not a lot of training partners to train in London. I have a brother, Stilma, who lives in Birmingham, a city nearby. So we get together like once or twice a week. There's Philippe, who helped me teach in my academy. My father is been there, but now Lagarto is moved to England. So, you know what I mean, there's a few of us who get together sometimes to train. But because we're not training all the time together, I try to pick up with the conditioning part, to get my body, you know what I mean, ready to do anything. So if I can get the level, you know what I mean, I can feel comfortable sparring with them once in a while too. I think the pressure by having the Gracie name is everybody already expects you to be great. I think that's what happened a lot. So if you don't do, you know what I mean, if you don't do great, they'll say, oh, you're not good enough, you know what I mean, indifferent than others. If they're good, you know what I mean, oh, that guy is very good, even if he haven't done great, you know what I mean, but they say, oh, he's good. The Grace, you know what I mean, if you don't do perfectly, they say, ah, you're not good enough, or he shouldn't have done better, you know. I think that's because of the name. And already everybody expects you to be great already, you know what I mean? So like when you're not, if you don't get the expectation, you're like, But you know, that's something you have to live with it, you know what I mean? Now I have more, you know, because I feel that I have to keep what I'm being, to keep, you know what I mean, what I am now. But depression has always been, you know what I mean? It's always, not that people make you train, but there's always someone, they ask you, are you training? Oh, no, why? You know what I mean? Are you training really hard? But no, but what do you mean no? You know what I mean? You're Gracie, you should be leaving the mat, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean, it's been always like that, so I'm used to it. I don't care anymore. Because I grew up in Gracie Barra in Rio, you know what I mean? And the time that I was growing up there was all the big names that was training there. And when I was a yellow belt, you know what I mean, there was like top black belts training already. So I always look forward to them, you know what I mean. I knew they have a lot to grow. Because the academy had always such a high level. So, you know what I mean, you have to be very good to get better in the academy there. So that's what was making me better. Because there was always someone to beat you up, you know what I mean. I grew up getting beat up by everyone.
That's what we heard.
Yeah, no, it's true. Until you reach a certain level, there's always somebody who's going to beat you up. Especially guys like Nino Chambry, you know what I mean, Roleta, Gordo, you know what I mean, the Almeida brother, Ricardo Almeida and his brother, Cachorrinho, you know what I mean. So doesn't matter how good blue belt, purple belt, brown belt you are, there's always going to be a very good black belt to kick your ass, you know what I mean. So until you know what I mean, I managed to reach a point, I used to get always some good fights there. Plus the people in my family, you know, my uncles, Rickson, Carlinhos, Renzo, my father, Hillian. So that's a hard work. I think there's a few. Everybody's been training a lot. Alexander Ribeiro, you know, I mean, he's one of the hardest opponent that they have there in the tournament, because he's the one, he never stopped training. I mean, I know he's been training a lot, always getting better and better. There's Jacaré, who's a great competitor too. He always, you know, he trains really hard, you know, I mean. Plus there's always, you know, new people coming from the brown who just got the black belt. And there's always some, Saulo Ribeiro, now he retired from the Mets, he say. But Margarida, you know, I mean, all those guys, they always training. So, and they're ready to catch the smallest mistake you make. The academy in London started when my father actually started the academy there. He was the first person to bring jiu-jitsu to UK. And for many years, he helped develop the jiu-jitsu there, traveling all over the country to teach as many persons he could, trying to get them know what jiu-jitsu is, because they didn't have a clue what it is, you know what I mean. A lot of people, they think jiu-jitsu has to do with the UFC or the MMA, which is jiu-jitsu you have to wear a gi. There's no striking in the game. But then there was a few years that he stayed in Brazil. There, one of the students was running the academy. Then when I was decided to move there, because or I move to run things, or you know what I mean, or the jiu-jitsu was going downhill, because there wasn't no black belt there to make the thing actually grow, you know what I mean. He was keeping at the same level, so if or I go, or we're gonna lose everything that he built for the past years. Then I decided to move there, and I opened up a big school there, and I'm there full time, so things are starting growing. Jiu-jitsu in Europe is growing up a lot too. To train here in the school is great, to see the job that they're doing here. Jiu-jitsu in California, you know what I mean, I think is the state which is more popular. In here, you know, there's loads of academies, a lot of people live here. I think more because of the weather, who look like Brazil. But, you know, I mean, jiu-jitsu in America is, after Brazil, is the second biggest country in the world. We have jiu-jitsu, and to be here is my pleasure, especially with Carlinhos here, that he living here in California, to have all of them, my cousins, now they're here training with me. So it's a great pleasure to be here.